You weren't left. You left yourself. You put yourself on hold to fit into someone else's plans. You push yourself to the background just to not be too much. And now here you are, trying to figure out why you feel so tired, anxious, empty. The answer is simple. You've been clinging to someone who let go of you a long time ago. You just haven't had the courage to admit it. There comes a point where insisting becomes humiliation disguised as loyalty. And that's exactly when you need to wake up. The problem isn't being left. The real problem is chasing someone who's already shown 1,000 times they're doing just fine without you. That's not love. It's emotional dependency. And emotional dependency smells like abandonment, tastes like desperation, and looks like self-sabotage. This video isn't a cute pep talk. It's a mirror, a punch of truth, a wake-up call. Here, you'll learn that when someone wants to stay, they show it. And when they don't, you let them go. No begging, no drama. Because in the end, if you're going to lose someone, let not be yourself. Some people show you who they are right away. Others take a little longer, but they show you. And the worst mistake you can make is trying to stop that from happening. When you force someone to be different, you lose twice. The truth and your peace. Let happen. Just watch. If someone lies, ignores you, treats you coldly, that's not distraction, it's a choice. And their choice doesn't have to steal yours. Self-awareness is seeing that without making excuses. Someone who hurts you repeatedly isn't being misunderstood. They're just very comfortable watching you uncomfortable. Letting someone reveal themselves without interference. That's self-respect. Authenticity can't be forced. It's earned. But a lot of people, afraid to lose someone, end up losing themselves trying to please. And the moment you start shrinking yourself just to keep someone around, the next step is ignoring every sign that you were never their priority. Silence is also an answer, and one of the cruelest ones. It doesn't need to come with yelling or a fight. The absence says it all. When someone puts you last, don't beg for attention. Walk away with self-worth, because presence that only weighs you down isn't worth the emotional toll. If they've chosen someone else, what are you still doing there? Waiting for them to realize your value? Value isn't begged for, it's claimed with action. Take a step back and ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, would they accept it in silence? Letting go is also a form of self-love. Absence reveals more than 1,000 words ever could. And holding on to someone who constantly avoids you is the exact opposite of a healthy relationship. Love that disappears for days and comes back like nothing happened isn't love. It's convenience. And someone else's comfort should never come at the cost of your authenticity. They're always busy, yet somehow they make time for everyone except you. That already says everything. When someone really wants to, they make it happen. When they don't, they make excuses. And you deserve more than emotional crumbs. You deserve intentional choices, not occasional favors. Healthy relationships are built on reciprocity. It's not about seeing each other every day. It's about feeling that the person is there, even when they can't physically be. If you're always the one reaching out, organizing, insisting, and all you get in return is silence, then it's long past time to rethink what you've been calling important. Emotional care also means recognizing when you're the only one trying. Because chasing someone who won't meet you halfway means abandoning your own worth. And here's the truth. When you settle for being ignored, you slowly forget what it feels like to be loved. The real danger? Once you get used to so little, you start being afraid of losing even nothing. You weren't made to beg for space where you no longer fit. When someone treats your presence like it doesn't matter, the best gift you can give is absence. Because someone who doesn't miss you doesn't deserve your devotion. And no, that's not pride. That's self-care. Some relationships only exist because you're still holding the door open. But let's be honest. A door left open for someone who doesn't want to walk in is just an invitation to be ignored. If someone lives in a constant whatever when it comes to you, then it's your turn to say, go ahead, and let them go in peace. That's empowerment. Personal boundaries are learned the moment you stop trying to convince someone to stay. It's not about being cold. It's about personal reflection. Why keep insisting where the other person has already given up? And why deny that sometimes goodbye is the very thing that saves you Being available doesn't mean accepting just anything. If someone wants a place in your life, let them prove it. With presence, with action, with intention. Not with empty promises or occasional check-ins. That's self-respect. It's also knowing how to separate desire from deserving. Self-love is stopping the rewards for those who make no effort. It's not about being harsh. It's about being fair to yourself. Someone who disappears, comes back, ignores you, and then asks for attention. Doesn't want you. They want control. And staying stuck in that cycle shatters your sense of self-worth. The emotional cost just isn't worth it. A relationship that's truly worth it is built on mutual exchange, not pursuit. When someone wants to stay, they show it. They show up. They engage. They care. They don't wait to be chased. Because people who truly care don't leave you questioning it all the time. The hardest part? Accepting that not everyone will rise to your level. You are not the abandonment you went through. And you're not the emptiness someone left behind. Belonging to yourself means knowing that your worth remains, even when someone walks away. It's looking in the mirror and remembering. What you carry, no one can take. And what left maybe never truly deserved you. The pain of rejection is deceiving. It makes you think you were the problem, that something was missing. But what was missing was reciprocity. And that doesn't come from others. It starts with self-awareness. When you know who you are, you don't beg to be chosen. You take your place. You honor yourself. And you move forward stronger. Being left behind isn't a sign of weakness. It's just a page turning. Sometimes painful, but always freeing. When someone walks out, the space they leave behind is yours. Fill it with what heals you, with what brings peace. Because in the end, the ones who truly matter don't leave without a fight. Changing for yourself is growth. Changing out of fear of being abandoned is self-betrayal. And eventually, that comes with a high price. Because the more you twist yourself to please, the further you drift from your authenticity. And the saddest part? It doesn't even guarantee that the other person will stay. Sometimes they don't even notice. A relationship that requires you to hide parts of who you are isn't love. It's a performance. And living as a character drains you. You start doubting what you feel, what you think, what you want. And you lose the one thing you should always protect. Your essence. Your worth isn't in fitting someone else. It's in staying whole. Conscious choices include knowing when it's no longer worth shrinking yourself. If someone only loves you when you're less, they don't love you. They love the fantasy of who you could be. And that's not fair. Not to you, not to your story. Because loving yourself also means knowing when it's time to stop hiding. They lie, disappear, explode, and you find yourself asking, what did I do? That automatic guilt? It's a trap. Not everything that happens is your responsibility. Self-awareness is learning to stop carrying blame that was never yours to begin with. If someone treats you poorly, it says more about how they relate to the world than it does about you. And if every argument turns into a courtroom where you're always the one on trial, something's off. Emotional control also means knowing how to stand your ground without constantly justifying yourself. Guilt that isn't yours weighs just as heavy, but it shouldn't. When someone wrongs you, pause, observe, and ask yourself, is this really mine to carry? Because sometimes the greatest act of empowerment is handing the guilt back to the one who threw it at you. Now tell me this. How long are you going to keep begging for emotional scraps? How long will you settle for barely enough for kind of just to avoid being alone? The truth is, as long as you don't make yourself a priority, no one else will. And as long as you accept anything, you'll keep receiving exactly that, anything. It's time to do things differently. Time to step fully into your own life and take control. Not to impress anyone, but to stop disappointing yourself. What personal boundaries do you need to set today? What connections need to be cut so your peace can return? And most importantly, how much longer will you keep ignoring the signs life has been screaming at you? If this shook you good, it was meant to, because you don't deserve to keep shrinking just to fit. And if you want more of this kind of truth in your face and emotional rebuilding, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment right now. Who or what do you know you should have let go of by now?